Today we're going to be making tally charts. So go ahead, grab pencil eraser, grab your book, and we'll get started. So here we go, lesson 10.6, make tally charts. So first of all, complete the tally chart. Do you see it left out the totals? So we see here there's one bundle of tally marks and no more. So we just know a bundle is 5. We don't even have to count it. Here we don't have a full bundle. 1, 2, 3. And here we have 2 bundles, 5, 10. So now, boys and girls, use the tally chart to answer the question, which game did the most children choose? You can look here and you know that. Circle the game that they chose. Which game did the fewest children choose? You can look at that and circle it. Next page, purple box. Now, of course, we need to complete it. But before we even complete it, we need to put it in. Now, do you see, I had suggested doing this with the crayons. Do you see how they marked these off as they added them in? So our types of boats at the lake, we need to think if each one has a sail. Do you see here we have some boats with no sails? So boats at the lake, both boats with sails and boats without sails. So they've already marked these 2 that have sails, but do you see how we have more with sails? So go ahead and mark one out. Put another tally mark, mark one out, put another tally mark. So now we can see that those are crossed out and we need to cross out and mark these other boats. So here's 1, 2 boats without sails. We don't want to try to do a whole bunch at once because it can be tricky, especially if we were doing a lot, to lose track of which ones we've done. Here's a 3rd one with no sail. Here's a 4th one. Now I know some of you guys could maybe have done this all at once, but we want to practice for if we had really big numbers. Here's another one. Now remember, we don't put a mark over here for our 5th one. For our 5th one, remember how we have 4 fingers and our thumb goes across? So our 5th one is kind of like the thing that ties the bundle together. And then we have another one here. So you can count up how many is that? Go ahead and write the total. How many is that? Go ahead and write the total. Now we're going to make a tally chart based on this lovely fish tank, which has fish in the tank, total, zebrafish, angelfish. So let's cross out as we mark. So here's a zebrafish. Here's a zebrafish. Here's a zebrafish. Another zebrafish. Another zebrafish. And now remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't put a 5th tally mark over here. It goes just like our thumb. It connects our bundle because counting 5s is really easy. And that way, if we had, 40, we could count 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 25, 30, 35, 40, and we'd just be right through there. Angelfish, there's 1, and another one, and here's the last one. So now, guys, you can count these up and write the total. How many zebrafish are in the tank? How many more zebrafish than angelfish are there? Now, boys and girls, if you want to just do it by using your fingers for subtraction or comparing these, you can. But if you need to, go ahead and get out your counters. Put out 5 counters and 3 counters and see what the difference is between them. Then number 3, how many zebrafish and angelfish are in the tank? So count them together. Write that number. All right, next one. This is what I asked you guys about on camera yesterday. Which of these snacks do most children like best? Ask 10 friends, make 1 tally mark for each child's answer. So I asked you guys, and I asked my family, and we asked Connor also. And so we managed to get 10 answers. So I'm going to tell you how many we had for each one. So we had for pretzel, we had 2 people say pretzel. Whoops. There we go. Now, because I'm telling you, you just know that, right? But I'm going to go ahead and tell you. For apple, we asked Mr. Robinson too. Mr. Robinson said apples. I said apples. One other student said apple. I think that might have been Lilia. And then one person here at my house said apple. So you can see how many tally marks that is. Mark that here. For yogurt, Toby said yogurt. Somebody else did. I think it was John. And Ben said yogurt, and Seth said yogurt, so you can count how many tally marks that is and mark that there. How many children chose pretzel? You can see that. How many children chose yogurt? Which snack do children like best? Now, when you look at our tally chart, we have 2, don't we? So you're going to go ahead and circle those 2 because they're the same, right? The highest number is the same. What if 6 out of the 10 children chose pretzels? Which snack would be the favorite? Circle it. So we're actually not changing the tally chart with this one. Sometimes they ask us questions and we change our chart and then answer it, right? We're not changing this. We're just going to look here. If we had 6 of them choose pretzel, would pretzel be more or apple be more or yogurt be more? Now, oh dear, I said more, but we have 3, so we actually use the word most, right? I said this earlier. More is for when we compare 2 things, but we have more than 2 things, so we would use most or fewest. So circle the one that would be the favorite, and then, oh, you guys have gotten to be pros at writing questions about these charts and graphs. So go ahead and write your own question about the tally chart. Again, you can flip back to other pages if you want to and see some of the questions that they asked if that will help you to think of a question. All right, last page here. Jenna asked 10 friends to choose their favorite subject. She will ask 10 more children. Predict. Which subject will children most likely choose? Now, here's the thing. There could be lots of guesses, right? What they're wanting you to think about is if people are really liking math a lot already, out of those 10, look, 5, 6, because we need to complete the chart, right? 6, 2 for reading, 2 for science. Out of those 10, a lot more picked math. So we can guess that maybe they had a really good math teacher or a really good math program. Not very many at all chose reading and science. So maybe we could guess that maybe the reading books are not very interesting ones. Or maybe the science program doesn't have very many materials and people aren't choosing those a lot. What scientists do when they ask questions is they ask a smaller number of people to be able to make a good prediction about what most people will think. So that's what happened here. That's what we're going to be thinking about too. If already most people are liking math, it's possible that she just happened to pick her 10 best friends and they all think math is great and everybody else likes one of these others better. But most likely, and that's what we're supposed to choose, is that if 10 people thought this was the best one, 6 of the 10, then if you ask 10 more, you're likely to get a lot of those 10 more also liking math. So the subject that would most likely be chosen is math. You know, predictions might be wrong sometimes, right? So we're not saying absolutely that's the answer if you actually asked them. You're predicting your best guess. And because we see here that most of them already liked math, our best guess is that math is going to be their favorite. Which will they least likely choose? Well, now you kind of have 2 choices to go with, don't you? So you could choose here which one you think would be most least likely. How can you prove if your prediction is good? Try it. Well, how you could prove it is to actually ask, right? Now, if you were going to try it, you would go ask 10 more people, right? The challenge is the 10 people we ask would not have the same experiences as Jenna's friends, right? Jenna's friends probably all have the same math, reading, and science. Whereas if we ask a whole bunch of people, they have different math, reading, and science, so they might have different answers. But if you would like to try it, go ahead. You can ask your family members which ones their favorites are. Maybe you have a brother or sister who could ask some of their classmates. Maybe you have some cousins that your mom or dad could call for you and ask if you want to try it. You don't have to try it, but if you want to, you can. Which fruit did the most children choose? Well, that's pretty easy, guys. You know how to read these tally marks tally mark charts by now, right? You can easily see which one is the most and go ahead and color in the circle for that. All right, it's just like I said yesterday, pretty easy, but really important learning to make sure that we're thinking it all the way through so that we have a solid foundation for what we do in math later on.